This is everything you need if you want to become a profitable trader. This is my exact trading plan flowchart, and I'm going to break it down step by step so that you can make consistent gains. This is going to work for all time frame sequences and all markets. This is going to include my top-down analysis step by step, as well as breaking down a couple of the trade setups. In fact, I just completed a one-on-one review with another trader in the Moneyball trading program last night, and so far in the first 30 trades, he has 20 winners, 11 losers with a 65% win rate with this trading plan that I'm about to show you. All right, in fact, I know you guys are going to ask me, where can I get this? Can you send it to me? I will, but we'll talk about it at the end of this video. Let's talk about how to break this thing down. Okay, let's get into it. Now, one of the most popular questions that I'm going to get asked right away is, which is the best time frame sequence? Which time frame should I be looking at? First of all, there is no best time frame sequences, but these are the time frame sequences that I recommend. Depending on the style and the type of trader you are, pick one of these. Take a picture, write it down. This will be included when I send this whole thing to you anyways at the end of this video. But these are the time frame sequences that I recommend. Okay, there is no best or magic time frame sequence. As for the best markets, same answer. There is no best markets. Find one that you like, take a bunch, narrow them down, experiment. Okay, so now that we got that out of the way, the time frame sequences, the markets that we're looking at, this is what we got to do first. So let's break down this chart now. So the first thing that we need to do is we start over here, identify supply and demand zones and key levels of interest. So we go to our chart, since we already know what our time frame sequences are. So the first thing we do is we go to our chart. In this case, let's use the daily time frame. The first thing we need to do is draw out areas of supply and demand zones or key areas of interest. This could be supply and demand zones, support and resistance, I don't know, pivot points, what other type of trading strategy you want. You want to look at a higher time frame. You want to look at to see where areas of buyers or sellers are stepping in. So in this case, we have prices coming back up into an area of daily supply, and we need to determine the trend, right? So this is the second thing that we need to do. So we go over here, identify key levels of supply and demand zones, and determine the trend. So we have just drawn out our areas of higher time frame supply and demand zone and determine the trend. So now what do we do? Well, let's go over here. Is price inside our higher time frame supply or demand zone? Yes, it is. Okay. In case you guys were confused, is price inside our area of higher time frame supply or demand, right? Yes, it is. Prices have pulled back. Okay, perfect. What do? Do we have quality confirmation, right? What is confirmation? This is when we need to go down to our smaller time frame and wait for those buyers or sellers to step in again. So in this case, I do have this photo here. So once this is called our multiple time frame setup, which is literally, do we have confirmation, right? So this is what it looks like. I'm going to go over here. These are the 4 trade setups that we trade. And do we have confirmation? So once prices come up into our higher time frame zone, we're going to see this action, higher high and higher low. We need to see prices breaking structure and removing opposing pivot point zones. This is our confirmation, right? And now ideally, very important that I'm about to say here, because when you look at this and we look at people's stats, 9 out of 10 people come back to me with the exact same stats saying a good setup, 77% win rate versus a poor setup, 58% win rate. It's very important that prices do these things, okay? As in, what did I just say? Number 1, breaks momentum line. Number 2, removes opposing pivot point zones and a strong quality zone being created, right? It has to do those 3 things within a very quick period of time. So prices came up into our higher time frame zone. We go down to our lower time frame confirmation. And I would ask you, do we have confirmation yet? It looks like prices are just trailing in an uptrend, right? I don't see a big stack of sellers stepping into the market yet. So this is an example of we don't yet have confirmation, so we can't continue this anymore, right? Here, do we have confirmation? No? Okay, no trade. We skip it, we move on to the next. Until prices can sell off and show us confirmation, we have to wait. We're not forcing anything. Okay, so let's go into another example. Let's say, for example, I don't know, let's go to like US 2000, the Russell. The Russell was interesting today. Okay, yeah. So the Russell today, first thing we do, let's say, for example, we're looking at the 1 hour. Okay, First thing we do, we draw our areas of higher time frame zones and we determine the trend. So in this case, it's like we had a very clear resistance line, right? So we had sellers stepping in here, 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 3-4 times previously. So when prices return back up into it, I want to be looking for selling opportunities. So prices come back up into it. We go down to our 5-minute time frame. In this case, we have the confirmation, right? Break an upward structure, higher highs, higher lows, big sell-off, right? This is exactly what you see here. We have the break in momentum line, we have prices removing that pivot point zone, and we have a strong quality zone being created. So if we go over here, do we have our first thing we do, identify zones, determine the trend. Are we inside higher time frame zone? Yes, we are. Do we have confirmation? Yes, we do. Okay, take the trade. All right, now we push sell, right? We don't just push sell, we wait for prices to return back up into it, and then we get short. That is the multiple time frame setup. So we're going to go over more examples, but we have this other section here because now you might be wondering, okay, well, if we aren't inside these areas of interest, can we still take trades? Well, yes, of course we can. That's why there's the one time frame setup and the breakout setup and the confirmation 2.0 setup. And so you might not be inside a higher time frame zone, but this is where we go, no, we are not, but can we take a one time frame setup or breakout setup? And so we go down into here and say, okay, well, can we? Do we have confirmation? Yes, we do. Take the trade. All right. And so what do these zones look like? Well, we're going to break down my watch list for the day. I'm going to show you my watch list for the day, and I'm going to break down to you why we are looking at these things. And honestly, I don't know how they performed overall. So Bitcoin, I know a lot of you guys trade Bitcoin. So let's look at Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, first thing we do is we draw out areas of interest on a higher time frame. So in this case, we were looking at the 1 hour time frame. What's the trend on the 1 hour time frame? Let's delete this. I think most people will say up. Some people might say sideways. So in this case, the trend is in an uptrend, right? We draw out our zone, so we actually didn't draw zones. Like this would be our zone, but it's already been removed, right? Previously, it's already been removed. We're in an uptrend. We're not inside areas of higher time frame supply. So we could actually just jump to the one time frame setup, okay, which is over here. And the same thing, we go down to our 15-minute time frame in this case, and we have a very nice quality setup. We're trading with our higher time frame trend, and we have this same price action, guys. Lower low, lower high, lower low, very strong move to the upside. It's accomplishing this within 3 candlesticks. And so we could be trading this as a pullback here over here. We could buy that as a pullback knowing our higher time frame is in an uptrend. Kind of like this, right? We have our 4 setups, we have our time frame sequences, we have our 4 setups. Now, this is where it can get tricky because say, for example, this is where you can do really well. We could use this as a higher time frame. Maybe you come to me and you're like, I don't want to use the 15-minute as my entry. Well, you could use this as a higher time frame, right? So you could use this 15-minute as a higher time frame and then wait for confirmation. So when prices come back into this area of higher time frame zone, we could go down to a 1 minute and then wait for confirmation. Okay, what are you waiting for, right? Do we have quality confirmation, guys? What are we waiting for? Pivot point zones being removed, momentum lines broken, quality zones being created, right? Okay, well, this is what we get over here. We have this break. We have 2 zones. We have zone 1 down here and zone 2 over here. Both are valid. Both are fine. And both would have done really well. I mean, this one worked really well to the upside, and then you got this one down here that also worked really well. And so you could see how you might say, I like this 1 hour, but I don't want to take it on the 1 hour. Instead, I'm going to use this 1 hour as a higher time frame and then drop down to a 1 minute, right? And so you can start mixing and matching these time frame sequences when you get very confident and comfortable with this trading style, right? But it takes time and experience. So we're going to go over another one. So let's look at gold. So if we look at my watch list for the day, gold's at all-time highs. We're just trying to buy this thing, okay? And I think I was posting it saying, just look for buy pullbacks back into demand. Now I think Tyson made a killing on this one today. Gold, let's look at GC. Gold, look at this thing. It's just rallying up for the last all week, 2 weeks, it's been like this. What is the trend, guys? It's in an uptrend. Buy this thing. I'm not trying to sell this thing. I'm trying to buy it. He had this setup right here. It was on the 1 minute, sorry. 1 minute time frame. We're in an uptrend. We're looking for buying opportunities. He had this nice little break of structure, drop base rally demand zone being created. He ends up buying the pullback back into that level, and he did extremely well. Okay, he did extremely well. But once again, this is the one time frame sequence, right? So he's not inside his higher time frame, but then he can use, say, for example, his one time frame setup, right? But you need to make sure that you're trading with the trend, okay? Another example of this could be, say, for example, I think there was like Euro Swiss today that we were looking at. Euro Swiss, multiple time frame. First thing, we draw out our higher time frame zones, right? Okay, prices came back into our higher time frame demand. It looks like we also have like a massive support line down here. It's probably a good time to look for buying opportunities after prices have pulled back a little bit, right? So what we talked about is, okay, we got prices coming into higher time frame zone. We need to wait for confirmation. In fact, this was, I think, Euro Swiss, possible buy. Yeah, right here. Possible buy, multiple time frame setup. ECB press conference is happening. And so this is how we got the confirmation, right? So we had lower low, lower high. And then we started to have this very strong move to the upside. This was our confirmation. And once again, this is our right here. Let me go like this. Confirmation 2.0, right? So we always be drawing out our higher time frame zones, and then we wait for confirmation. And so on this one, the 15 minute was a very nice structure break. Lower low, lower high. Once again, guys, they all look like this. Structurally, our entries are going to look like this. Okay, very nice buy setup, strong move to the upside, and we try to buy the pullback once prices return into this. Okay, that's what we're trying to do. And so you follow this trend. What do we do? First thing we do, draw out our zones, determine the trend. Ask yourself, is price inside a higher time frame zone? Yes, it is. Okay, do we have the confirmation? What is confirmation? Look at the photo. Just look at the photo. That's the best thing that you can do. Look at the photo. Do you see this on your lower time frame? No? Okay, don't take the trade, right? You'll wait. What do? You wait. It's common sense. All right, price is not inside your higher time frame zone? Okay, well then can we take one time frame setups? It's probably not the smartest idea at taking one time frame setups when you're trading counter trend, right? So you want to be trading with the trend on the higher time frame. This is why determining the trend is important. So like gold, like we talked about, it's in a massive uptrend. Okay, yes, we can take one time frame setups, right? Okay, well, do we have quality confirmation? No, we don't. Okay, you can't take the trade, right? Okay, yes, we do have the setup. What does that setup look like? Like this, right? Any of these that you see, basically, right? Yes, we do. Okay, take the trade. Take the trade, right? And so if you want this exact trading plan flowchart to be sent to you, it's in a whole ebook that I have covering everything about the supply and demand zones, because you're probably wondering, well, how do I draw out zones? What is supply and demand? How do I draw out support and resistance? It covers the whole trading strategy. All right, it's a 27-page book that's going to break down my strategy as well as include a step-by-step kind of trading plan flowchart to help you, okay? As well as what's going to be in that book is going to be covering the 5 mistakes that you're making in your trading and a 90-day roadmap for you to follow, okay? So you can get that in the description of this video, and I will send it to you there, moneyballtrading.com. It will be in the description. I appreciate if you guys like this video. Subscribe. In fact, if you want my exact trading strategy in 30 minutes or less, check out this video above my head right now. Check out that video. I will see you guys soon in the next one. Cheers. Bye-bye.